I'm dying. Oh, man. Two. I should know you. Lin Lei. 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 Okay. Testing. Cool. All right. I'm going to take that off. It is really hot in this thing. But if Doc Carr and Moses and Aaron can do it, so can I. So tonight, on Back of the Tabernacle in particular, we're going to be getting into a little bit on priests. Did you know that the United States Post Office, or Postal Service, as one of the primary ways paper is delivered, the U.S. Postal Service started in 1971. Today, it provides employment for over 640,000 people. That's a lot. One of the lesser-known facts are the two mottos of the Postal Service. We'll focus on one of the two for tonight's lesson. And I pray that I do this. Okay, got it. One of those two mottos is neither snow nor rain, nor heat nor gloom of nights stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds. Now, notice and appreciate what this motto is saying to the American people. No matter the difficulty of the day, you will get your mail. What a powerful lesson on determination and devotion to serving others. Is there a hobby or an activity that you love to do, like a lot? So much that you would stay the same on that? Where you would say, no matter what is happening, I will do this. Nothing or no one will stop me. Now, of course, personally, you all know I love art. I love drawing. And I told everybody that I've ever come across, I will die on that hill. I'm not sure if anybody's got like hobbies like that specifically, but I made up my mind a long time ago. In tonight's lesson, we want to talk about a similar group of people from the Old Testament with the same mindset. The priest in God's house. We will learn about the priest in three ways. Number one, the design of the priesthood. Number two, the priestly duties. And number three, finding priests in our day. Let's begin by talking about God's design of the Old Testament priesthood. When God had given Moses the pattern for the tabernacle, he also made a position for those who would serve daily in the tabernacle called priests. These are not the priests one would find in Catholicism today, but rather these were men of the tribe of Levi, or Levites, from a specific family, Aaron and his sons, of course, serving under the specific law of Moses. Is that right? I have no idea. I'll find out. When God had given Moses the pattern to the tabernacle, he also made a position for those who would serve daily in the tabernacle. Now, therefore, okay, I'm not used to this PowerPoint thing. So, now, therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people. For all the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel. Now, notice four things about this passage in particular. God's relationship with his people required a law. Israel's love, number two, to follow the law exalted their position in God's heart. Number three, loyalty to serve God made Israel servants of the Lord. And then finally, living holy to God made Israel sanctified or set apart from the rest of the world. To help Israel be who they needed to be as a people required a special group of people to serve the nation, the priesthood. Those who would serve as priests was God's design of certain people who would serve God, the tabernacle, and the people of Israel. How did they do this? When God had freed Israel from Egypt, he began to tell Moses about a certain group of people called the Levites who would help serve in the tabernacle. Okay. Now behold, I myself have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel, therefore the Levites are mine. Numbers 3:12. The Levites were helpers of the main people who served in the tabernacle, the priests. Behold, I myself have taken your brethren, the Levites, from among the children of Israel. They are a gift to you, given by the Lord to do the work of the tabernacle of meeting. Therefore, you and your sons with you shall attend to your priesthood, for everything at the altar and behind the veil you shall serve. I give your priesthood to you as a gift of service, but the outsider who comes near shall be put to death. Now Aaron, the brother of Moses, and his sons, of course, were in charge of being the priests. Of course, you can see Exodus 28:1 and 29:1 for that one. The priests were divided into two categories: the high priest, leader and servant, and then number two, the regular priests, the serving servants. Which, for anybody watching on the thing, I was pointing at Ethan, who's gone. One could tell the difference by the high priest normally wearing a blue vest or an ephod over his white priest garments. Now, the printout that you've received, which I think everybody has one, and I hope everybody has one, and everything the priest wore served a specific purpose. I do not currently have one of those, well, two of those items in particular, but we'll get to it here in just a short moment. Now take Aaron, your brother, and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that he may minister to me as priest. Aaron and Aaron's sons, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, and you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for glory and for beauty. A simple way to remember this is that those who serve God are unique and distinct. They have always looked and acted different than the world. Now, does the world see you differently? Now that we know of God's design for the priest, what exactly did they do? Well, the priests had several duties as they tend to the tabernacle and God's people. Did I go the right way or the wrong way? I think we're supposed to be here. I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. But again, they had several duties. One responsibility, specific to the high priest, or Aaron, was to make atonement for the people, according to Leviticus 16:1 through 34. By atonement, we mean forgiveness of one's sins. One day a year, 14th day of the 7th month, which was a special event called the Day of Atonement, was performed by the high priest. Once he finished this, the people would resume daily tabernacle sacrifices. Later in the Old Testament, we learn that the priests failed to follow God properly and led Israel to sin. It did not remain without hope for too long. So he doesn't really go more specific on this, but we'll kind of go over just a little bit in particular. Now, as I said earlier, Ethan's kind of got more of the first priest bit here. That would be the serving priest, and of course your high priest is me, or that, the second priest. Of course, they would have their tunic, their sash, girdle, turban, line garment for the regular, and then the high priest, I've got all this wonderful decoration with the little ephod and the turban and the onyx stones and the breastplate with these stones in particular. And the Urim and Thummim are the two things I do not have on my person because I did not have a little pouch that could hold a white and black stone. Yeah, we ran out of the budget. There we go. Okay. So, of course, this would be the high priest, yes. So the priest's clothes were made for glory and beauty. He wore a tunic, and there goes the mic. Okay, cool. Wore a tunic, undergarments, cap, turban, or mitar of fine linen. Of course, all these pieces in particular, they say for exalted and holy before his eyes, but it was a pattern of clothing that God had picked out. Now, what I find interesting, and this isn't in the notes specifically, but the fact that God said to dress up in that sense, I don't know, kind of leads me a little more into the personality of God and how he sees what holy is. Now, whether you agree or disagree with that, this is speculation only, of course, but I think it's rather interesting that he comes up with certain designs like this. Of course, the ephod with the onyx stones, which are the broken sunglasses I have on the side here, which are on my shoulder. This thing's heavy. But these stones in particular, of course, bear the names of the sons of Israel. And the Urim and Thummim, of course, that I do not have on my person, determined the Lord's will for his people and were placed in the breastplate. And of course, I'm not carrying a censer of burning coals with me, so also not in the budget. However, of the old law in particular, this is basically their duties that they would help out with. Of course, they were set apart by God. They were a consecration of Aaron. Of course, they made atonement for the people, and they administered to the temple or the tabernacle, and helped in legal decisions. They were judges within their own areas. So, the priests did not say, "Where is the Lord?" And those who handled the law did not know me. The rulers also transgressed against me. The prophets prophesied by Baal and walked after things that do not profit. Jeremiah 2:8. When the New Testament began to be written, it led to change under the law of Moses. It was the Levitical priesthood. In the New Testament, it was a different group of people, which leads us to our last point, the priests of our day. Now, the priests of our day, we've talked about it before, but when the church began in Acts 2, there was no longer a command to have the tabernacle, temple, or even the Levitical priesthood anymore. In Acts 6:7, the Bible would tell us, "Then the word of God spread, and the number of disciples multiplied greatly in Jerusalem, and a great many of the priests were obedient to the faith." Yeah, that's right. Okay. It was no longer the case that the tribe of Levi alone would serve the people, but we learn of a new type of servant, like Christ, called Christians, who would serve the world. And from Jesus Christ, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead, and the priest and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us, and washed us from our own sins in his own blood, and hath made us kings and priests unto God and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. 2 Peter 2:5, which there's a little clip there. But 2 Peter 2:5, 9 through 10. You are a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a particular people, that you should show forth the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have attained mercy. It is the church who serves all people to help them lead, or to help others lead them to God through the gospel. Just like Jesus showed his life, we are called to serve for a higher purpose. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to be served, and give his life a ransom for many. Today, Jesus serves as our high priest, making atonement for us every day. And that is a wonderful thing to have. Hebrews 4:14 through 16. Seeing then we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Jesus the Son of God, let us hold fast unto our professions. For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. And then Hebrews 7:25, therefore he is able to save completely those who come to God through him, because he always lives to intercede for them. We begin our lesson with the U.S. Postal Service and their motto. Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completions of their appointed rounds. What if there were people in the world who said that regardless what the day holds? I will serve the Lord. Are you that kind of person? When you consider the highest position in the church, it is not an elder, it is not a preacher, it is not a deacon, teacher, or any other title we could think of. That higher honor, of course, belongs to the servants. Matthew 20:26 through 28. Yet it shall not be so among you, but whoever desires to become great among you, let him be your servant. And whosoever desires to be the first among you, let him be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. John 13:13 through 17. You call me teacher and Lord, and you say, well, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done to you. Most assuredly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is he who is sent greater than he who sent him. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them. It is through serving others, like Jesus, that we can help others help others come to God. It is love for souls that make good servants of the Lord. 2 Corinthians 5:14 through 15. For the love of Christ compels us, because we judge this, that if one died for all, then all died. And he died for all, that those who live should live no longer for themselves, but for him who died for them and rose again. Now then, we are ambassadors for Christ, as though God were pleading through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf to be reconciled to God. Man, I have got to work on my timing. I am so fast. Okay. Early dismissal tonight. However, point of it all, becoming a servant of servants, who later became the King of Kings, live, love, and learn like Jesus, and one day you can become a servant of God too. So are you a servant in God's house today? Let's learn to love serving others so that we will lead them to live as servants of God. And even though I said the lesson was, the material's done, but at the same time, I would like to also say, serving itself doesn't stop here. You can clean up a pew. You can teach somebody else. You can go and knock on some doors. For those who can't really walk or anything, you can send an email, you can make a video. And I understand some of us might be a little, aren't really that great when it comes to sending videos or anything thereof, because like technology kind of gets away from us. When I first got my cell phone, I didn't want one when they first came out. I thought they were just dumb. I didn't like it at all. But as the years went on, I kept seeing more and more people kept using them and kept using them and kept using them. And it was a great way to actually connect with other people and try to find a group that's more closely knitted to me. So one day I broke down and I said, you know what? All right, fine. I'll learn everything I need to know on how to use the phone and the internet and how to pay the phone and the internet. Now, I'll guarantee at this time, I was 21, I was out on my own for the first time in ever, and I didn't know how to pay a bill. So, and that was back when you had to pay the electric bill at some random thrift shop, not over the phone like it is now. But all it takes is a little bit of a determination to be a little bit better, to be a servant of God in particular. You don't have to be the one that's jumping the highest. You don't have to be the one that's running the fastest, and you don't have to be the strongest person in the room. You just have to do something. Other than that, any comments, any discussions, anything else? Well, why them specifically?
Was that because after Moses came down and the golden calf and all that, they didn't help him?
Did I go through that, or did I just kind of skip over it? The slide specifically. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's an answer in these slides. If not, somebody was paying attention. No? All the way back. Well, I myself have taken the Levites from among the children, and therefore the Levites are mine. I don't think it specifically says why the Levites are his. So Jesus came out of Judah, right? Okay. A conundrum.
He came back and he was up there getting the numbers. He says, what do you think is the law? I think it's not the recounting that way. Come down and talk to the tablet.
Yeah. I'm trying to look it up through my phone. I don't trust AI as much as I can throw it, but it has its uses. Yeah. So, from what I'm reading out of AI, it's saying the Levites were chosen to serve as Israel's religious leaders and caretakers of the tabernacle, primarily because of their unwavering loyalty. Loyalty, Exodus 32. When Moses is returning from Mount Sinai, he saw the people worshiping an idol. Whoever is for the Lord, come to me. Let's look at Exodus 32. $32.19. Yeah, so then Moses stood in the entrance of the camp and said, whoever is on the Lord's side, come to me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together to him. And he said to them, thus says the Lord God of Israel, let every man put his sword on his side and go in and out from the entrance to entrance throughout the camp, and let every man kill his brother, every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. So the sons of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and about 3,000 men of the people fell that day. Then Moses said, consecrate yourselves today to the Lord, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day, for every man has opposed his son and his brother. I think it just stops right there. 30 might be something else in specific. However, okay, Exodus 32:27 has the answer right there. Honestly, I thought it was all just from the line of Aaron, like for the longest time, or was associated with Aaron and Moses. Well, that's cool. We figured that out. Well, I guess that's it for class, unless anybody else has anything else. No? Okay. Well, those who are joining the stream, thanks for joining us as we tried to figure out where the Levites came out of. But we figured it out, so thank you. We'll be back in a moment.